Okay, now in the third part of our course, it's not necessary to have two views open in our composition. So we're going to modify this and we're going to put it in just one view. Now we can start on the animation of our logo. So within the logo's composition, we're going to go to the transform option and we're going to modify the rotation. At the start of our animation, we're going to have to press the timer of the Y rotation. In the second one, we're going to create another frame. We'll go back to the first one and we'll put it at 85 degrees in positive. And we can see here how now our animation. In preview, I'll just put it at half. We can see that when we hit play or the spacebar, there's our animation. If we select the Y rotation, our graph editor shows us a linear animation, so we're going to select both. Hit right click, Keyframe Assistant, and we'll soften it with Easy Ease. In the graph editor, we can now see a curve. And when we hit preview, we can see this animation. But I want it to start quicker. So, we're going to go to the graph editor, and I'll press Y rotation. What we'll do is modify the values here. We're going to edit the value graph. We're not going to modify the speed. We could, but in this case, we're going to modify these values. We can see that here is where our animation starts. It's on 84, and it's going to go down slowly until it gets to 0. I want it to start fast. So, we're going to click on the first point, and we're going to move this anchor to the bottom part. This way, we can see how now it's going to fall straight away. Let's modify it there, more or less. We're going to hit preview, and we're going to see how it looks. It's much faster. We can modify a little bit around here. There we go. There we have our start animation. Now we're going to position ourselves on second 2, frame 20. Here we can see that. We're going to click on the X rotation timer. We'll go to second 3, frame 20. That is practically a second long. And we'll add in another keyframe. We're going to give it that softening again. And in this case, we're going to make the animation the same as as 360 degrees, a full spin. So here, automatically, we get that full rotation at 1x. We can see now this animation. Let's hit play. And this is how it is. We're going to modify again in the graph editor. Let's click. We'll go to X rotation, but in this case, we'll go to the edit speed option. Here, what we're going to do is click on the first one. We'll move it more or less to this part. And this second point, the anchor, we can put it here. So now we're going to see how it gets faster and finishes slower. Let's hit play, and there we have it. That's the effect that we've created. We can also modify the scale. We'll click on the keyframes. In the same place we made the other one. The first one is at 65%. The second one we'll put it at 50%. We'll select both, right click, easy ease. We'll modify the graph editor as well on its scale. We're going to place the same effect we made on it. In this case, I'm in the speed editor, so more or less, we're going to place it around this part. Let's hit preview to see how it looks. We can see that, there it is. There's our effect. Now we're going to add right click, new camera, 35mm. We'll name it camera. And what we're going to do is modify the position part. In this case, what we have to do is separate the dimensions in the position. So we'll right click, separate dimensions. Now, if we go to the start, we're going to place a keyframe on the z-axis. Let's click. We'll put it at minus 625. There it is, approximately in this part here. We can modify how we want it on the z-axis, zooming in or zooming out. If we put in the two views, we can see the following. When we modify the z-axis, the camera gets closer or further away. In this case, we're going to put it at minus 625. We'll get further away. Here a little in this camera. Now we'll place in second 2. We'll put in minus 1840 in the z-axis so that it's in this part here. We're going to place it in second 2, frame 20. We'll modify it and we'll put it at 1550 to zoom in a little. We can see the movement of the camera. The camera is close here and then it goes further away. And now it zooms in a little. And there. Obviously, we've made a mistake because it should be minus 1550. There we go. We can see that the camera in this part gets a little closer, and in second 3, frame 20, we're going to finally put it on minus 1700. This is the effect that we've got from the program. We can preview it now. Let's see it. There we go. So now we're going to modify, as always, the values in the graph editor. Because I want it to start here and quick. And here in this part, I want it to be a little faster as well. Right in the middle. So we're going to select them all. Right click, and we'll go to Easy Ease. And we're going to create a curve animation. So this is how we have it right now. We're going to click on our Z rotation so that we can see the curves. We're editing the speed on the graph. In the first point, we're going to modify the anchor so that it starts quickly. So we'll put it here. We can see that now it's going to start from minus 800 pixels per second. We're going to modify this anchor more or less to here. And that way we start from 1600 pixels per second. Let's hit play. And we can see there, it starts faster. Now we can see that this way in which it zooms in, it's kind of slow. So we're going to make it a little more sudden. We're going to modify approximately here, like this. And this other anchor here. So we're going to preview. And then we have it. We can see this effect. If we preview all of it, it's an effect that we've created. So now, let's add some keyframes in the Y positions. We'll leave the graph editor, and in second 2, frame 20, we're going to add a keyframe in the Y position. And we'll go to second 3, frame 20. And we'll put in another keyframe. Let's give it that easy ease. The first value is at 550. And in the second value, we're going to put it at 720. When we hit preview, we can see that, well, nothing at all has happened. What we have to do is modify in the point of interest. Let's click on the camera, and we can see that our point of interest is right in this part here. We're going to move it to the top part more or less. And now we can see that here we have the same. The animation is still the same. But when we see the animation in Y position, what it's done is make the Y, well, the Y is modifying. Can you see that? In this way, right? So we're going to hit play, and we're going to see what's happened. This is our effect that we have. It's ready up to now. The animation of our logo is ready. We're going to leave it on one view. In the part where it hits like a curve here, the rotation, we're going to put in a little glow effect. So what we're going to do is go to Effects, Stylize, and we'll click on Glow. Here we're going to change the options. We'll put it at 50%. And in the radius, we'll put it at 72. So that way it's more or less there. And in the composite original, we'll say on top. So we're going to go and press U, get all our keyframes, right in this place where we get the curve. So we're going to press on the radius. And let's click. Now we're going to press U, and there is our keyframe. And in second 3, frame 5, we're going to press another keyframe in. We're going to go to the middle part, more or less around here. We're going to press another keyframe. Then right there is where we're going to put in our values. Right in the middle part. And in the first frame, obviously, we're going to put it at 0%. And in the last one, we're going to put it at 0% as well. We're going to select the 3 points and we're going to give them the easy ease. Now, let's preview. And we can see that this effect is the one we've made. There we go. We have our logo animation ready. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson where we're going to finish off our animation with the text.